What's up, builders? This is Raise the Bar Radio, where we talk about building wealth, raising capital, and all in all, raising the bar in your business and your life. This is the No BS podcast for capital raisers, investors, and entrepreneurs who are serious about scaling their business and living life on their own terms. I'm Seth Bradley, securities attorney, real estate investor, and entrepreneur, bringing you world-class strategies from the best in the game. If you're ready to raise more capital, close bigger deals, build a better you, and create true financial freedom, you're in the right place. Let's go. Welcome to Raise the Bar, elevated conversations around entrepreneurship, capital raising, and real estate. Today, we've got a longtime friend of mine, Micheal J. Flight. He's a real estate entrepreneur and real estate tokenization pioneer who is an expert in retail real estate investment, redevelopment, and real estate on the blockchain. He was named the godfather of blockchain real estate by Forbes by co-founding the Liberty Real Estate Fund, the world's first net lease security token fund, and creating the Blockchain Real Estate Summit. Micheal, great to see you again, man. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, Seth. Always enjoy seeing you out, especially when I'm out in California, because it's always sunny and warm there, and you always got a smile on.
Appreciate that, man. I hate that we're not going to have Raise Fest or anything this year. That's where I see you there every year for sure. That I can usually count on that one.
Well, if you invite me out, I'll just come out, and hang out.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do that then, man. Let's do that. Dude, with all the stuff that you're doing, and we were chatting before this thing kicked off, like when a stranger comes up to you and asks you what you do, like what do you say?
I say I started out in real estate, long-time real estate investor, long-time in real estate, and went on to do crypto and angel investing and advising.
Love it, man. Love it. And the stuff that about the blockchain real estate, like let's get into that first, just because I feel like I don't know when that was. That would have probably been like 5 years ago. For you, it might have been even longer because you were in it early, right? Like there for a while, all you heard about was blockchain real estate. Like everything's moving blockchain real estate. I know at one time you and I consulted for a little bit, and I started building in provisions into all of my syndication and securities documentation, reserving the right to tokenize the real estate down the line, because we thought that everything was going to get tokenized. Like all these, you know what I mean? Like, so we just wanted to reserve that right in all of these documents. And, COVID hit, the world changed, stuff got put on hold, stuff got mixed up, you know what I mean? Things that were working, stopped working, things that weren't working, started working. The economy was all nuts. People looked at different things in different ways. So what's kind of the state of blockchain real estate today, and where is it and where is it heading?
Sure, and you were right, because I started in advising crypto projects around 2017, 2018, and started trying to tokenize real estate around 2019. So your timeline is right. The big issue is and always has been, number one, the SEC and some of the stuff around money raising, and also combining non-U.S. investors with U.S. investors, so you have to issue two tokens. But the biggest thing is that we in the United States are spoiled in that we don't have to do new and unusual ways to raise capital, because there's just giant pools of capital. People are used to investing in real estate in a certain way. So real estate tokenization so far has not taken off. But if you look at what BlackRock is doing, if you look at what all the major Fidelity, and even Vanguard is doing, some ETFs and stuff, which they said they'd never do anything with crypto. So, and if you look at the current administration, they're saying a lot of crypto is in securities, which I don't necessarily agree with them. Because there clearly are securities laws, but I would love to see the accredited investor laws go away. I'd love to see that anybody could get into a great real estate deal or a great startup or something like that. Because if any person, including me, can go out and buy a lottery ticket, which is the worst possible investment, they should be able to go and put like $500 into, a great real estate deal or a great startup company as an angel investment. If you got a friend that's like, created something really cool, it's like, why can't you throw in $500 and, make out like fantastic? The same way that Peter Thiel did. So.
Totally. Yeah. And you've seen that loosening with this administration, whether you like them or not. Doesn't matter. We're entrepreneurs that are listening to this podcast, and you and you need to take advantage of this time period because they are loosening things.
Yes.
And they're pro-capitalist, they're pro-money movement, and that accredited investor definition is loosening, or at least they've hinted at it. They're trying to get it loose, at least where you can take. The big one is like if you allow somebody to take a test. And I'm not saying like a Series 65 or Series 7,
right,
which you can do that now. Lots of red tape around that. You don't want that. But you can just take a test and say, I am certified. Now I'm an accredited investor. You've taken that extra step. You've got yourself educated. And you should you should have yourself the allowance of access to private deals and private markets. Just like
right, but I also agree that I'm like more freedom, and I'm not, arguing any political thing or any administration. I'm just like, if you've got the money, you should be able to do with it what you want. Right. So that's kind of where I come down. Yeah. It's like, if it's your money, you should be able to do with it what you want, and you should be ultimately responsible, because right now a lot of the stuff that goes on in crypto is like complete scams and complete rug pulls, and and people do lose their money. It's like the Wild West. So I just think that it's like you should not commit fraud. You should be completely transparent. You should be completely honest. And the tokenization part, I believe, is going to come along, and eventually everything is going to be tokenized, and it's also going to create better transparency on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Like you can still, and I'd say this loosely because I don't love more rules and more regulation, but you can regulate it to a certain extent where you can't commit fraud. Like you have to be transparent. You have to disclose the deal terms. You have to disclose who's involved and what the deal looks like and what you're getting involved in. And then at the end of the day, the investor themselves can make an informed decision on what to do with their money. They can be accountable for their own decision making.
I agree with you, and I think the disclosure requirements could be a lot easier. Like they could just, like on the front page and the first few pages, and then go into all the legal stuff. But I mean, we do commercial leases, and commercial leases a lot now are putting all the terms in the front, and then you go back and you see like extensive, like 3 pages of, this is, what, how that stuff actually happens. But, up in front, it's like, here's the rent, here's, the term, here's all the rest of it. And it's like, if you just say, here's the deal, here's where it's at, here's everybody that's getting paid something. Yep. And here's somebody, and if you could do that, it would make investing a lot easier.
For sure. And it's just, I'm a lawyer, obviously, and these documents, they don't get shorter. They get longer over time. And at some point, you might have a reset where you're like, what is all this shit in these documents? Like, let's make it simple. Exactly. Let's make it simple. And then you reset it,
like
and it gets short, and then you do it again.
Like disclose everything in the front and then have all the legal in the back, instead of hiding it, inside all the legal. It might make it easier for everybody.
Well, it's because we want to sue everybody here in America. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is everybody's looking for an easy way out. They're like, all right, well, I've been wronged, or I think that maybe I've been wronged, so I'm gonna see if I can get some money out. I'm gonna sue somebody. We just have that, for whatever reason, ingrained in our society, and it kind of sucks. And I'm saying that from a lawyer's perspective. So, like, it's tough, but that's why those documents are so long. They get longer and longer and longer. Somebody gets sued. You've got to add some more disclaimers and reps and warranties in the documents, and it just grows and grows and grows.
Well, I'm not advocating violence, but I believe it was Shakespeare that said, kill all the lawyers.
What about me? Not me, though, right? Kill all the litigators.
You're a business guy, Seth. You're not an attorney.
There we go. Awesome, man. Well, tell me what are you obsessed with today? Like, I know that, we spoke a little bit before the show, and you're getting into different facets of AI and fitness and things like that, and you're seeing what's out there, and you're a pioneer in a lot of this stuff. I mean, what are you obsessed with right now?
Well, the really cool thing was getting early into tokenization is people thought I was an expert in things, and so they just, I keep collecting people. I've had to tell like 2 startups within the last 2 weeks. It's like, no, I don't have the bandwidth. I can't, do anything. And oh, by the way, there's like 5 other people doing kind of the same thing you're doing. So, can you go take a look at your market and, do this? But it's really cool because people have come to me over the years, and so like. I've been introducing myself. It's like, I know I don't look like a fitness CEO, but I'm, the co-CEO of a fitness app. And with that one, it's really cool because you can earn crypto as you get healthy and as you do healthy things and keep moving. And also with that team, we have live events. So I was just in Bucharest, Romania, August 30th and 31st, and we had 20,000 people show up for this really cool event. 11 stages, a Junior Mr. Olympia festival. Lots of people walking around, like guys walking around without shirts, and lots of Spanish.
You too, right? You didn't have a shirt on.
Black is slimming, so I go with the black T-shirt. So. But that's that's been really exciting. I'm also involved with and that's called Sense for Fit. In Sense for Fit, it's the Sense for Fit Summit, and then it's the Sense for Fit app, and it's Sense for the number 4 Fit. And then I'm involved with another education company, and that company has been approved by UNESCO. So I've actually done a lot of international travel, working with governments and NGOs to get that education app in front of people that, especially like Colombia and Ghana and some other countries that they don't have the teachers to teach all these people. So with this AI education app, it's AI tutoring. It's not replacing the teachers, but it's augmenting the teachers. So I'm involved with that. Also through the Sense for Fit guys, I'm also involved with a meditation app, which I really, really love, and it's something that I super believe in, and I also super believe in getting healthier. So I'll tell you my story. Probably about 10 or 12 years ago, I was about 275 pounds, and now I'm down, and I try to maintain around 200 pounds. So, and I should be probably around 190 pounds. So that's, probably my fighting weight. But, it was all through like walking and, regular exercise and really modifying my diet. And once I did that, it's like the biggest thing, which is what I sell with the app, is the fact that you get accountability with the app. And I hired a woman that was a VA of mine, and she needed extra money. So I said, I'm going to send you every day the amount of steps that I walk, and I'm going to, kind of take pictures of the stuff that I'm eating. I don't do the eating thing anymore because I've got the eating, kind of down pat. But I still have to send, the amount of exercise that I do. And, she will, look at things, and it's like if there's no steps that day, she's like, get off your lazy ass and get moving, or stuff like that. So, and then what I do is if I do gain weight, because I just use this as a measurement. I mean, I don't really focus on weight, but if I do gain weight, I have to pay her more. I have to pay her a penalty. And that's one of the same things. That's why I like the fitness app, is you could bet against yourself. So if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you could bet, that you're going to do it. And if you don't do it, then you lose some of your crypto. So, or if, you do challenges, you can actually get more. So that's what I really love about the incentive mechanism. And the reason why I'm involved with that, and the reason why I'm involved with the education app, is because crypto is excellent for creating incentive mechanisms.
Yeah, I can see where no, my mind goes to like younger folks would absolutely love this, right? Like they love like the gamification.
Exactly.
Like there's a little bit of gambling if you're kind of like, and I love that it builds in accountability, right? Like that's huge. I mean, that's probably my number one core metric is like accountability. So things like that to track and provide accountability, very meaningful. I can see where you could get like obsessed with that app, which is what you want. You want people immersed in it and checking it all the time. That's got a lot of potential. I haven't seen it yet. You got to show it to me, but it sounds awesome.
We've got a new version of it coming out for coaches and trainers, which I think is going to really change the game. And you could also do it through gyms. But you, as a coach or a trainer, can earn additional, stuff by bringing your clients in. But you could actually incentivize your clients. And also we've got we're working on sponsorship deals and things with supplement companies and things like that, and also nutrition. And so it's going to be a really good incentive mechanism for trainers to like work through and work with their clients. And the cool thing is that the trainers can replicate themselves through AI. So instead of just having to work and you've only got so many hours and sell your time per hours, you can like 10,000x yourself.
Yeah, that market's awesome, right? Yeah. Like the fitness, whether you look at it from,
you drag us into fitness, but I'm just the technology part of everything and what AI can do for everything. That's what I'm here for.
Pardon the interruption, but we don't do ads. Instead, know that if you're raising capital for real estate, my law firm, Raise Law, is here to give you the expert legal guidance you need to raise capital compliantly and structure and close your deal. And if you're looking for a done-for-you fund-to-fund solution, TribeVest is the industry's only all-in-one setup and fund administration solution. Visit raise.law and tribevest.com to learn more. Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's something that everyone's interested in. I mean, we're all entrepreneurs that are listening to this. I mean, it's like, you're a real estate expert first and foremost. You took that and applied that to blockchain and tokenization of real estate, and now you're seeing where AI and all this different technology that's coming up and applying it to different industries. Like you really have to stay on the forefront. Like you're a pioneer. Everybody's got to be a pioneer nowadays, because if you get left behind now,
yes,
man, you're going to get really left behind. Like you're not going to be able to catch up because it's just moving so fast.
Yeah. No, and through the stuff that I was doing even 2 years ago, some guys took, a headshot of me and took my voice and made me talk. And now that 2 years ago is still close to like some of the AI stuff that's happening now. And so that was like, those guys were way advanced, and we're working with them now because they have a platform, rwa.io and rwa.ai. And that's real world assets. And so I kind of came full circle. I'm advising those guys, and I'm an angel investor with those guys in their company that to list real estate projects worldwide, to list real world assets worldwide. But the big part of it is on the AI side, they're keeping track of all the data, so you're going to get better metrics with everything, including real estate, which is really hard to get metrics for because, it's always been traditionally hard to find that data.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. AI is just something that you've got to learn. You got to know what's out there. It's not just ChatGPT, right? Like that's the first step. That's the first step. But you've got to know what's happening out there so you can apply it to your.
Well, and I want to caution. ChatGPT, everything you put into it is not private. So it's like, sucking in everything, because there's people out there putting their medical information and stuff in there. It's like, that is not private. So if you value, privacy, you need to be aware. I'm not saying do not use ChatGPT because it's a good tool for specific things. You just need to be very aware that when you're putting your private data, even if you're doing a deal, all that deal data and everything private in your company or your intellectual property, if you put that into ChatGPT, it's now theirs and they have taken it. So you just need to be very aware. I'm really have always been into crypto and Bitcoin because of privacy. And I value because your privacy connects into freedom. I'm all about freedom. You get freedom by financial freedom. Financial freedom is upstream, even of political freedom. Because if you can't buy, a gun, and if you can't buy, free speech, you don't have political freedom.
That's right, 100%. I mean, right, because people in power will take advantage of people that are not in power.
And I say this because the Constitution wasn't written for what the government, I'm talking about the U.S. Constitution, what the government can do. It was written for what the government should not do. So that's what I believe. It's like you should restrain government. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have any government. I'm not one of those, type of radical libertarians. But the less government you have, the freer you are.
100%. And they wrote that at a time when they were searching for freedom themselves, right? Yeah. Like they were running away from taxes, overregulation, oppression, all of those things that some of us are aware of, keenly aware of, and some of us are not, and sometimes actually run towards it for whatever reason.
Right.
But that's, that just happens over time. Like if you look at the history of time in governments, it's a cycle, just like a real estate market is cyclical, right? You don't get less government and less regulation. Right. You're always constantly fighting to keep it from just going nuts and going exponentially more regulation. Eventually, there's so much regulation, people, but the vast majority are unhappy, and they take some sort of radical action to separate themselves from that overregulation. And that's exactly how this country was founded.
You and I are in, two of the bastions of overregulation. I in Illinois, and you are at least in better weather, but in California. So.
I'd rather be in California, man, to be honest.
Exactly. So I've got all the same problems here in Illinois with bad weather too.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Good stuff. I want to switch gears a little bit, talk about capital raising, since the show always talks about that. You're involved with some apps, with AI technology. You've partnered with people. You're on the board. What are you seeing out there in this market? Because it's really difficult to raise capital, whether you're raising capital for real estate, whether you're raising capital for private equity, whether you're raising capital for your startup. Like, what are you seeing out there that's working for folks that are successfully raising capital for either their real estate deal or their startup?
I think the big thing is with real estate, it needs to have real cash flow. So it can't have, and so I've always been in retail real estate, and we kind of pivoted, and I love triple net deals. And, what I like to say about triple net deals is it's cash flow from the get-go. And the other thing I like to say is it's nothing but net. So you don't have to pay real estate taxes. You don't have to pay common area maintenance. You don't have to pay insurance. The tenant pays for all that stuff. And so it literally is mailbox money. And sometimes you don't even have to go to the mailbox, because tenants like Walgreens and McDonald's just send you the money directly through an ACH payment into your bank account. So it's the ultimate in do nothing, but you've got the real estate and you've got the rent backed by a large corporation. So as long as you make the good decision up front on, is it a good location, and is this company going to be around for 10 or 20 years, then it's set it and forget it. So I'm seeing deals like that being done because people want to see cash flow. For the longest, I shouldn't say the longest time, but about, since, 10 years ago to probably 3 years ago, everybody, was killing it in multifamily value add. and they found out that some of those numbers were accurate, and a lot of those numbers were just made up because you had to actually refinance out of it, or you had to have something happen. You had to execute on your business plan. So I think you can still make money by executing on a business plan, but you have to make sure that you've got the right partner that can execute on the business plan, which is where on the startup side, we've gotten involved with a few different teams, and if the team really can execute, and if the team really knows what they're doing, because we've seen sometimes when they have the absolute best technology ever, but the team just can't execute, and so it's really difficult to raise money. So if investors can see a pathway to money, we're seeing deals get funded.
Yeah, it's not like money's not out there. I mean,
right.
Money is out there. Like the big boys are raising billions of dollars, right? Like it's out there. It's just trying to access it right now.
And so money wants to find your deal. You just have to show the money how easy it is to get into your deal.
Yeah. 100%. It's just you've got to do a little bit more than you did, a few years ago, where it's just
exactly.
Here's a great deal, invest with me, and then you just raise a few $1,000,000. It's just not that easy anymore because investors are smarter and they're more skeptical because they've seen some deals, the ones that you're describing, that didn't go that well, that were leveraged with adjustable rates that they can't afford, that were depending on, crazy rent projections.
Fraud that we're seeing,
that's the stuff you see in the headlines. So
yes, yeah, and that's really sad because it just ruins it for everybody, and it makes it a lot tougher because, when I come in front of them, if they don't know me, they're like, well, I invested in this ATM business, or I invested in this carbon thing. Why are you different? Or, what's different about you? Does the app actually exist? That type of thing. So, and it's like, but I don't mind. It's like, if it's a real deal, it's a real deal. So it's like, here it is. Here's the team. This is you can see who's using it right now. You can see, for example, we got involved with a shopping center just outside of Orlando earlier in the year, and it's like, here's the tenants, here's all the stuff, and that raise went pretty well. But the team that was raising the money there were really exceptional guys, and I love partnering with them.
Yeah, I mean, the market has adjusted. I mean, it's challenging to raise capital right now, but maybe that's a good thing. You're seeing the best operators, the best people that can actually run the deal or take the app to Series A or whatever it looks like. They're the folks that are able to raise the capital and probably deserve the capital, and that capital's in better hands.
Yeah. I agree with you. There's still a lot of stupid money, and there's still a lot of people investing in stupid stuff. But I think right now, some of the deals that you're going to get into are really going to, at some point, outperform some of the deals that you got into when it looked like it was doing nothing but going up over the last 3 years. So I think you're going to see some deals that, like in this generation or in this class, are going to do exceptionally well. And there's just going to be some deals that aren't going to do like crazy well, but right now I'm happy if I can get like an 8% cash on cash return. It's doing way better. And the thing I love about real estate is you also get the tax benefits. So I always tell people on the triple net deal, if I invest in a McDonald's, the McDonald's is probably going to be a 5 or 6 cap. So that means if I invest 100% cash, I'm going to get 5 or 6% of my money. If I invest in a McDonald's bond, I'm only going to get like 3.5 to 4%. And that is all taxable at regular income versus if I put a little bit of conservative leverage on that McDonald's, I can get my cap rate up. So I'm getting like a 7% return, maybe an 8% return. We don't want to push it that much because we want to be super conservative. But the other thing is you get the benefit of the tax benefits are going to cut probably 2 to 3. None of this is financial advice, but it's going to cut 2 to 3% off your return that you're paying to the government. So you're going to get sheltered income that the government loves to give you because you're investing in real estate, investing in real capital, structure, infrastructure, and capital goods.
Preach, brother. That's why we're in real estate, man. I mean, you can't deny that. Like, taxes are your biggest expense. And
Right.
you've got to figure out how to reduce that expense. And the government tells you how.
Even if, like, when we were talking about the accredited investor thing, even if I, it was just getting by, and even if I was making like $50,000 a year, if I was in that McDonald's deal, I could either, put my money in the bond and have to pay 100%, taxes on the interest, or I could put it in the real estate. Like, in tokenization, you can do smaller, increments. So I just bought, property in Bali. I bought $500 of a property in Bali. So now I can say I own property in Bali. It's a token deal.
Sounds pretty sexy. I like that.
Yeah, I could say I'm a property owner in Bali, in a resort in Bali. $500, but if you can put your $500, in that McDonald's, you're getting more money out of it, and you're getting, so like, you're not paying as much to the government. You're actually pulling more money out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, to me, it's like more money is going into your pocket, whether you're really super concerned about taxes or even if you just want to make money and you need to get ahead. So that's
right. Yeah, especially if you have something like that's like a cash flowing business, right, or you're high earning W-2, and obviously there's some issues there with trying to mix and match your passive and active income, but there's ways to do that.
Yes.
Those people especially, like, you've got to figure out a way for a tax shelter and to reduce that tax burden. And
right,
real estate is one of the best, if not the best way to do that.
100%. Yeah.
Michael, I always like to ask people this: what in a parallel universe, we'll call it, what is a different version of Michael Flight? And I'll give you a quick example. Myself, I went to med school for a little bit, dropped out, hated it, was there for like a year and a half. That would have been a totally different pathway. Or another pathway would have been, I almost went to University of Florida for law school. Didn't, end up going to USD instead, met my wife, went down that pathway, right? Like, those are like singular decisions that could have just changed the trajectory of your life. Maybe not for better or worse, but different. What is a different version of Michael Flight?
Well, I thought this was going to be a hard question, but it's actually easy. So I went to college, and I thought I wanted to be a Lutheran pastor. And then the languages Greek and Hebrew were a sign from God that I should not be a Lutheran pastor, so I went into business instead. So I got a psychology and sociology degree, which is nowhere near a business degree, and I'm here today working with people all over the world.
So it's because you're lazy, because you didn't want to do that.
Exactly. I've always used laziness as a superpower.
Well, that eliminates that question. I know what your superpower is. It's being lazy, and then it's brought you to awesome success. What's one limiting belief you've had to kind of get down this pathway, and how did you overcome it?
I still have this limiting belief. I still talk with super powerful guys that I really respect a lot. And it always comes back to imposter syndrome. It's like when you're getting up on stage or you're walking into a room filled with people that know what they're doing. And I really know what I'm doing specifically on triple net stuff. I like to, bring up the fact that my attorney and a few other attorneys have called me up on particular lease clauses and said, what do you think about this? Because this is how I'm writing it. And I'm like, wow, I think I've made it if an attorney is calling me on a lease clause. But I still, sometimes have imposter syndrome, especially if I don't immediately recognize anybody in the room right away, and I'm like, am I supposed to be here? Maybe I'll just go back to the hotel room. Maybe I'll just go out to dinner by myself. That type of thing. And then it's like, I always forced myself to start talking to somebody. And, I know that I could really talk to anybody once I start, and they just want to get rid of me. They're like, okay, I'm done. I got to talk to somebody else. But it's just that, like the kickstart to like force yourself to talk to somebody. And that's how I met like so many incredible people in my life. I mean, the thing that really excites me about life, and I just got this question a lot. I get it, but I just got it on Saturday night. It's like, what are you going to do when you retire? I'm like, I don't want to retire. I meet so many fascinating. I mean, like I'm talking to you. I love talking to you. I love talking to all kinds of other people that are like doing super cool things, that live in super cool places. It's like, why would I want to retire?
Yeah, that's a great place to be, right? Like in your career or your entrepreneurship journey where you're like, man, I love what I do, right? Like I'm working 14-hour days and it doesn't feel like it because it's awesome. I love what I do. When are you going to retire? Never, because I love what I do, right? Like that is such a great place to be in, and that most people with a typical W-2 never. And
there's a lot of crap that I don't like to do, and I procrastinate. But the part that I absolutely love about what I do is the people that I meet. I mean, and that just. It just energizes me. It brings joy into my life, is the people that I'm meeting and working with. Yeah.
Last question, man. How you're raising the bar in your life and in your business?
Trying to raise the bar by staying healthy and, keeping up on my health. I did not pay attention to my health and, let myself go a lot. And I'm trying to raise the bar by being more proactive and less procrastination in the business side of it, because there's so many things that I don't want to do. And I just, mentioned one of the people that works for me this morning right before we came on. And I'm like, I had all this stuff that I had to do, and I could have done it like, over the past week, and it's all due today. And so I was like this morning, like doing all this paperwork and stuff, and and now we're back into getting into tax season. So I got to start like preparing all that stuff and, year end stuff and everything else. And it's not what I want to do, but I know that like we're in September, now we're in the third quarter. So it's like, you better start preparing for the end of the year and getting into next year. So.
Yeah, man. If you don't have your health, man, you don't have anything, right?
Exactly.
Like sometimes you take it for granted because you're okay, even though you might not be living the most healthy lifestyle. But then as soon as something goes wrong, you're like, oh shit! Like I got to get it together, because if I don't have my health, then what is all this for?
I agree with you. I agree. I mean, that's the thing, and I can honestly say, I can go out there with the best of them, do 38 hours straight and do some cocktails and, a little bit of partying and everything, and, keep up with the kid. So
there we go. All right, Michael.
Crypto lifestyle.
Because it's the younger folks are in there, right? You got to keep up, man.
You know what? There's a lot of younger folks, and they're probably smarter than me, but they're like, we're out, we're going home.
Yeah. They're getting away from it. They're making smart decisions, man. They're getting away from They're getting away from the drinking and everything else, which I don't know how they do it, but that's.
I still like a little bit of a cocktail every now and then. So
yeah, everything in moderation.
Yes.
All right, Michael. Really appreciate your time, man. Where can our listeners find out more about you?
They can go to libertyfund.io. That's libertyfund.io. That's our triple net property website, and that's where we do the tokenized funds. They can also go to senseforfit.com. That's senseforfit.com or senseforfitsummit.com. And those are our live events for the fitness app and the fitness festival. Fitness festival, again, is going to be next year, 2026. We're expecting 25,000 people. And the great thing, it's going to be, again, in Bucharest, Romania, super cheap to travel there. And we're looking to expand that to other parts of the world, too. So,
fantastic, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael J. Flight. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Seth.
Thanks for tuning in to Raise the Bar Radio. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Keep pushing, keep building, and keep raising the bar. Until next time, enjoy the journey.